people that are listening that have no idea about what is that, open your timeline. Open your timeline for success. Yes, we've got programs that go for 3 months or 6 months. So with that, the main reason that I give people a particular contract length is because it does create that sense of urgency of like, yes, we have to finish this program and do all this stuff by this particular time. But at the same time, there is nothing to say that we have to lose 10 kilos in 12 weeks, that we have to lose, 20 kilos in 6 months or whatever it is. So when you open up your timeline for success and you say, hey, I want to lose 10 kilos in 3 months, one of the first things that I'll come back and say is, cool, would you be okay if you lost 10 kilos in 6 months? Yes, sooner rather than later, but I'd be okay with that. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Genie's Lamp. We have an incredibly special guest with us today. It is the infamous Laurel.
Hi.
There we go. Laurel is an amazing ex-client. It sounds weird saying ex-client. It sounds odd, but anyway. Laurel is an amazing ex-client of ours that finished up the program 12, 14 weeks ago. How long ago?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Somewhere in the double digits of weeks. Yeah. About 12, 14 weeks ago. Sent an email to her just asking how things have been and what's been going on. And I absolutely fucking loved the answers so much that I was like, we need to do exactly what I said I would do before you signed up, and that is get you on the podcast. So here we are. I know that I said I would only chuck you under the bus probably like 2 or 3 times, but I'm here to calm things down a little bit and tell you that that was a lie. It's going to be at least double that. So yeah, let's jump into it. I suppose let's go from pre-beginning. We'll start with a prequel series, and then we'll go beginning, and then we'll just go right through. So we're just going to do the inverse order of Star Wars and treat it like a normal movie. So I suppose the first off question is going to be, why did we sign up for the program?
So I had a massive problem with binge eating and restricting, like literally for years and years and years, always done this. So that was why I wanted to hire a coach, somebody who could sort of point me in the right direction and stop me from doing that, like hold me a bit accountable for what I was doing. I literally tried every diet under the sun, and all of your content really made me laugh, like poking fun at things like, keto and Atkins and stuff, like all things that I had tried, which I thought was quite funny. So yeah, that's why I reached out to you originally, because I just wanted to stop and sort of live a little bit more normally and get things under control.
Awesome. Love that. So what you're saying is I need to do more shit take content.
I love it. I love it. Because, you do all these things and you think, oh, it's so good. Like, this is great. This is really working. It doesn't work. And, if you really sit down and think about it, it doesn't work. So it's quite funny on the other end of it when you've learned, this doesn't work. Like, to hear people like you, really shit talking it. It's just so funny. I love it.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to chuck that on the list. Tina, we'll chuck that on the checklist.
Just for me, like just for my own.
For no one else, just for you.
No one else, just me.
You see a TikTok video that has like 2 million views and it'll just be like, hey, Laurel. People are like, who's Laurel?
Who is this girl? What?
But now we can be like, if you want to know who Laurel is, check out the podcast.
The podcast, yeah.
See, it was a trap this entire time. Just more content. Awesome. Well, what was the, just to give people the sort of start and then the end, and then obviously we're going to cover everything in between. What were the results, if any, physical, mental, emotional, just anything in terms of results that you saw through the program in the 12 weeks that we had?
Yeah. So where do I start? Like I saw like a lot of changes in myself. I found it quite easy, like, this, like I found it quite easy to do what you were telling me to do. Like, and which was like quite nice. I was like, oh, this is good. Like, and I think at the beginning I was like still under eating, and you were just like, come on, like you got to like, you know, at least hit these like minimums. And when I did, I was losing more weight, eating more food. And I think like, you know, little light bulb goes off like, oh, this is cool. So that was really good. Like I gained a lot. Like I still am like sleeping better and feeling probably less stressed. And, you know, I did not want to go to the gym. Now I go to the gym nearly every day. So yeah, there's a lot of things that changed for me. And obviously, yeah, I lost quite a bit of weight. Like I'm up to about 24 kilos so far.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That is massive.
And yeah, I'm just like ready to just keep on going. And yeah, there's so many things like all in one. And sometimes you don't even really realize until one day you're like, oh, I just ate one biscuit and I was fine with that. Like, it's just a bunch of little things like that happened throughout how long was it? 12 weeks.
Yeah. Because we had 12 weeks together, and I think it's been now 15 weeks off program.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure 15.
Yeah.
So yeah, fuck, that's amazing. 24 kilos now.
Yeah, 24 kilos, which is crazy.
How does that feel from like obviously week 1, day 1 to obviously present time recording? How does it feel to be like, I've lost 24 kilos?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like sometimes I kind of forget because I'm like, well, because something that really helped me with you was the whole like change your timeline thing. Like, you know, in my head, I was always like, no, you've got to lose 1.5 kilos a week for 3 months. And then that's the only way you're going to do it. And then working with you kind of like, well, no, that's not how it works. And yeah, you can change it, and you can have a week where, you know, you're eating at maintenance and you might not lose anything, and that's fine. Who cares? Like you're still overall losing weight. So yeah, it's pretty cool that I've lost 24 kilos. Like sometimes I'm like, wow, I had 24 kilos to lose. Like, whoa, let myself get a little out of control there. But yeah, it's really cool. Like, yeah, I can't wear any of like my old clothes anymore. So, I mean, that's a bummer, but it's also awesome. So, yeah.
Sorry.
Fun.
Yeah. It's weird that you said that, because I literally just put up a post about someone's check-in on stories. And I think people are going to hear this podcast like 2-3 weeks after we actually record it. But I literally just put up someone's story from a check-in, anonymous, to be like, hey, this is probably one of the waivers that I say the least, but it is a waiver of like, we take no responsibility for the shopping spree that you're going to have to go on after the program. So that's quality reinforcement right there.
Yeah, 100%. Because it's true. And like sometimes, you know, it wasn't always me who noticed that. Like sometimes it was other people. They were like, oh, your clothes are like a little bit big on you now. Like maybe you need to buy something in your size. Like I had that.
When your sleeves are like here.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's down on my knees.
I think it's a bit big. That's fine.
It's fine.
I went to the program. I can't buy new clothes yet. No, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. With the awesome, obviously life-changing results that you saw there, that's physically. What were the like mental, emotional things that you said? I know you mentioned before of like having a biscuit and then that being satisfying enough to not be able to, I suppose, eat the whole packet or whatever could have stemmed from that. But what was the sort of behind the scenes things that we achieved? Because I know the numbers were relatively, every time we had a check-in, it was, how's your movement? How's your steps? How's your nutrition? And it was 2 minutes of just like, it's all on point. It's fucking perfect, Travis. Stop asking. And I was like, oh, cool. So what about the behind the scenes stuff that people don't normally see?
Yeah, well, I think it made me like a lot clearer headed, maybe. I think, I don't know if that's maybe the right word, but yeah, no, I think a lot clearer headed. Like I think I can deal with like stresses a lot better, and like just being in a bit better of a better mood. More definitely more stable, like not so up and down, like because I could get quite cranky, and I'm sure I still get cranky, but maybe not as bad. Yeah, I just think that, yeah, definitely a stabilized mood, way better sleeps, because I used to get awful heartburn because I would eat not the right foods quite late at night, and that just didn't work for my body, obviously, because I had this awful heartburn. I don't get that anymore, which is really nice, and that definitely makes me sleep better, not having like that awful sort of issue. And I used to be a huge sufferer of headaches. Like I did everything to try and find out why I had these headaches, and they decided that it had to do with my weight. They were like, look, you're just a woman who is carrying a bit too much weight, and it's putting pressure on your brain. And I hardly ever get headaches anymore. So, you know, I would say that that's all lines up to, you know, just looking after myself better, and my relationship with food being good, and not eating so much crap all the time.
Awesome.
So
Sweet.
yeah.
What's the you mentioned relationship with food just there. Was it like, how was it previously to where it is now? Like, was it bad to going to good, or like what's that sort of look like?
Yeah, so it was really bad. Like as I was working with you, like I told you, like I was also working with a therapist, because I was just like, what is wrong with me? Because I just wanted to eat all the time, and I wouldn't eat a little bit, I would eat a lot, and I would go so hard, and I would eat, you know, like a tub of ice cream covered in Nutella and like biscuits crumbled up in there, like, you know, like it was going hard. You know, go to McDonald's and order 2 meals, you know, like it was not nice. And yeah, I just felt like I needed all that food, and it makes you feel really happy and everything. And now it's like the complete opposite. So I like really concentrate on like getting enough like nutrients, and looking at the macros and stuff, like we did in the program. And yeah, just making sure I've got like a nice variety of stuff, getting plenty of protein, and which is so funny because I always thought that was such like a naff thing to say, like, oh, gotta get enough protein. No, I'm like, get me that protein. But
same sentence, different vibes.
Yeah. But I get it now. Like I get why that's why we should do that and concentrate on that, make sure we're getting enough of things, because it does make me feel a hell of a lot better. And yeah, so now like I have no real problem with food. Like I was saying to you, like I'm still doing like a deficit, just a small one, like it's very slow. But you know, I got to a point where I was just like, oh my God, I need a break. And I was like, no, just push yourself through to, I think it was April, and I wanted to go to May. And I was like, no, just push through a little bit, and then you can get to maintenance. And I just got to a point where I was like, nah, I can't do this anymore. Just went straight back up to maintenance. And for me, like 6 months ago, that would have been like, yes, takeaways, like eat McDonald's is like my weakness. Eat McDonald's and, you know, buy a block of chocolate and eat the whole thing after dinner and, you know, just go nuts. But I didn't do that. And that's definitely because of everything that you taught me. So now I can just eat at the maintenance, feel really happy with that, like get in some like little treats and stuff, keep it balanced. And then I think I spent like 3 weeks at maintenance, and then I was like, okay, like I'm ready to go again.
Yep.
And I just dipped back into being in a deficit again. And I was like, fine to do it, because I'd had that break that I think I mentally really needed to take. And yeah, before it just was not the case at all. So yeah, completely different.
Sweet. Fucking love hearing that. Taking some time off and then getting into it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Was there anything particular? I mean, I know there's like a whole myriad of things that it could possibly be, but was there anything particular from that shift of like, I can go up to maintenance and then just get back into it? Was there something through the program or anything that just sort of made that click?
Yeah, like just going back to what you were saying with the change your timeline, like that whole thing, like that's really in my mind. Like,
yeah,
that changed everything for me. Like, yeah, why do I try to lose all this weight in 3? Who cares? Like, do it over a year, do it over 2 years, do it over 3 years. Just focus on looking after yourself and being healthy. And yeah, I think that you definitely taught me how to do that. Just the way that you explained everything and talk about everything, and even like following your social media and stuff, just to give you like a bit of a reminder. Yeah, like it helped hugely. It's nothing from my own brain. It's all from everything that you taught me. But yeah, I don't know. I know that doesn't really answer the question, does it? But yeah, definitely the big thing that just clicks for me and makes it feel okay to go back to maintenance and like switch back and forth is that timeline thing. Like, it's okay to mentally give yourself 3 weeks so that you don't fall off the bandwagon completely and be so restrictive on yourself that, you go and binge for the next 6 months and end up in the same spot again. So
yeah.
Sorry, that was really roundabout.
No, that's fine. That's perfect. That's exactly why we do this. Because, yeah, I'm sure you would have known from every client that I take on, people that are clients are listening to this. I love it when people ramble. That's where the juicy center is. That's where the nougat is. That's where people tell me what they're thinking.
So funny.
So that's awesome. For people that are listening that have no idea about what is that open your timeline, it's the like open your timeline for success, which is essentially just the like, yes, we've got programs that go for 3 months or 6 months or 12 months. I hesitated on that because I'm like, I'm not sure if I offer 12 months anymore, but we've got them that go for a certain period of time, 3 months or 6 months. I know they're there definitely. So with that, the main reason that I give people a particular contract length is because it does create that sense of urgency of like, yes, we have to finish this program and do all this stuff by this particular time. But at the same time, there is nothing to say that we have to lose 10 kilos in 12 weeks, that we have to lose, 20 kilos in 6 months or whatever it is. So when you open up your timeline for success and you say, hey, I want to lose 10 kilos in 3 months, one of the first things that I'll come back and say is, cool, would you be okay if you lost 10 kilos in 6 months? Oh, yeah, that's not too bad. Cool. What if you lost it in like 8 months or 9 months? And then I just start pushing it until the point where it's like, yeah, sooner rather than later, but I'd be okay with that. And the reason that I do that is to get you immediately into that headspace of this shit's going to take time. And exactly as you just said there, Laurel, is if you have that open timeline of it's just going to happen if I just keep doing all this stuff that, going to the gym or eating healthy or whatever the habits are now, if you just keep doing that stuff, you know that it's going to happen. So the physical results, the aesthetic stuff that we want is just naturally going to happen by you waking up and living your life and taking care of your mental health. So if you can open up that timeline for it's going to happen, no matter when it happens, it's going to happen, you can then operate from a place that is a lot less stressful and a lot more calm, less anxious, and less putting arbitrary chains on yourself for being restrictive for no fucking point at all. Because the amount of people out there that have done the 6 weeks and the 8 week challenges and we have to lose weight as quick as possible so we can win this thing, so we can get our money back. That's so far from the opposite of what we preach and what obviously you've gone through, Laurel. So that's what the timeline of success is. It's going to happen because it inevitably happens, because every single person listening to this knows how to lose weight, but not many people know how to sustain and keep it off. So that's what we come in and teach. And on that beautiful seamless segue, do you feel like what we've done and what you're doing at the moment is sustainable?
Absolutely. Yeah. I was just thinking as you were talking, like it's something that you've taught me is definitely consistency. Just keep going. Like, if you if you stop, the only person like stop into a binge, I mean, like not stop into maintenance, but stop and go completely back the opposite way. Like the only person you're really hurting is yourself. And like, yeah, consistency, I think having you as a coach really held me accountable because I hadn't done that before. I hadn't been consistent. And I think it's like almost impossible to be consistent on a ridiculous diet anyway. Whereas doing something like this, which is very much eating like a normal person, and you're getting a really solid amount of food in every day, and you're not starving your brain and turning into mush.
Yep. Always a bonus.
Yeah. Like it's definitely sustainable. Like, yeah, I think it's so good. I think, yeah, it's great. It's great. I mean, I'm still doing it today, however long on, like what's
Yep.
6-7 months on.
Yep.
Yeah, still doing it like a little bit slower, but yeah, still going. And it's
Awesome.
It's great. I have no problem. Like if someone said you need to do this for another year or 2 years, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. I can do it. I feel good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. I like that. I had a question and I completely forgot what it was as soon as I got hyped.
Yes.
Your vibes are too good, damn it.
Yes.
Awesome. So we'll full Metro Man this and we'll take it down a little bit. What were the, if any, biggest obstacles through the program? Like what was the biggest sort of pain in the ass through that period, through the words, Travis, the initial 12 weeks that we had?
Yeah. Probably the hardest bit for me was going to the gym. Like that was a bit difficult. I didn't do that probably until like 6 weeks in, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe more.
I think it was I think it was around that sort of like week 7-8 area.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you're right. And that was hard for me because I, like, for a few reasons, like I don't love exercise.
Yep.
Don't love it. And I feel like when you're like kind of like a bigger person in a gym, like for me personally, that's quite scary because a lot of the people there are just so ridiculously fit, and that's quite intimidating. So that was probably like the hardest thing to get through for me, was to incorporate that extra exercise and like strength training and stuff. But that was probably the hardest bit. And the initial first couple of weeks, trying to wrap my head around what is in everything, that was like, it was a bit just a challenge, I guess, like to be like, oh wow, okay, this food has heaps and heaps of calories, and like trying to work out how to get like everything that you need in, I mean, you're not super strict though, so I make it sound like I make it sound like you must get in. But it's not like that. But you know what I mean? Like trying to balance everything out.
Yeah,
so that
trying to hit the macros.
Getting the macros and making that work. Because some things I just had no idea. Like wow, I can eat that one thing and that's entire carbs for the day. Or like, holy hell, there's 70 grams of fat in this. Like I just didn't know that before. So that was that was difficult as well. But once you get the hang of that, that's fine.
Yeah. And that's why I set the program up the way that it is. And I think I would have said it to you before we signed up, that I set it up in a bit of a dick way for you to sort of fail and do most of the work initially in the first like 3 weeks and be like, holy fuck, this is messy. I mean, now obviously you know exactly why we do that, but for people that are listening and are perhaps thinking of doing it, the reason that I set my programs up in terms of like, here's your macros and calories and go and do that. And I don't care if it's good, bad, awful, best thing in the fucking world. It puts that learning back onto you, which is track whatever you're currently eating, no matter what it looks like, so that you can see what it is, instead of me having to give you a meal plan and then be like, hey, just eat like this and you'll lose weight. Because obviously, you know your diet and likes and preferences and everything a lot better than I will. So yeah, the first 3 weeks sounds like a dick move, but I set it up so that it feels like you're failing, so that it feels like, oh my God, there's a lot of stuff here that I'm not going to be able to do. How am I going to do this? And then those thoughts are going to bring up a lot of questions. Like, how do I get my protein in? Like, how am I going to do this? And how am I going to do this? And then when the questions come from you, from that experience, it gets reinforced a hell of a lot quicker and for a lot longer. So that's why we set it up. Obviously, you know exactly why we've done that now. But through the first 3 weeks, it's fucking difficult. And it's difficult for a lot of people through the program that, you know, maybe just aren't as, I suppose, knowledgeable on macros, or don't have that little bit of extra time to put towards, oh, I can have this. And it's just like, fuck, I have to cook what's here. But yeah, you absolutely killed it with the macros. I remember like the first 2 weeks, I think it was, the only thing that I could think of was, you need to eat more. And it was just, please eat more. It's like, okay, what is your breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Oh, it's usually this. Cool. Add rice in at lunch and like have this for dinner. And I want you to take like some popcorn for snacks.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy. How often do you get told, like, when you're trying to improve your weight and stuff, to eat more? That's like the complete opposite to what anyone ever tells you ever.
Yeah. And then you hit it for up until you went to the gym, I think it was, when you decided to start going to the gym. And then as soon as you did hit it and you were like, I'm thinking of going to the gym, I was like, excellent. Here's like 300 more calories per day. Eat that now. And you're like, what the fuck? How? I was like, you'll find a way. Just make it happen. Yeah. So that's awesome. The how did we get to the point? So we haven't even touched on it yet. We did the Unfuck Your Diet program, which wasn't the transformation, which wasn't workouts or anything. I think, please tell me if I'm wrong. I think our initial phone call was about the transformation program.
I can't remember. It definitely could have been, yeah.
Because, and you know, I may be wrong on this. This knowledge is like 6 months, well, 7 months old. However long old it is, it's old. I'm pretty sure, because without names as well, your friend reached out for transformation program, and we were like, no, we actually didn't do that. We did this one without the workouts. And I think that phone call went something along the lines of like, I want to do the transformation program because of A, B, and C. And we hit a point where we were just sort of like, you know what, now's probably not the best time for you to go to the gym, to work out, to do all that stuff. So let's save you some money, do the Unfuck Your Diet program. And then once you feel like you have nutrition under control, take the money from what would have been the difference between Unfuck Your Diet and the transformation program, take that money into a PT, gym membership, that stuff. And I was actually pleasantly surprised we got there at like week 7 to be like, I think I'm ready for a PT. I was like, good, do it. Lift heavy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Actually, that does ring a bell. Yeah, I think you're spot on.
Awesome. Sweet. Because as soon as I said it, I was like, oh no, I'm wrong. I don't know if this is right.
Wait, this is someone else. Wait.
I didn't even coach you. Oh my God. No, that's awesome. So yeah, still going to the gym and everything. How's that?
Yeah, I do still go to the gym. So I've still got my personal trainer, the same one as before. So we do weights twice a week, and then I do weights by myself once a week. And then the rest of the days I probably like run. That was one of my big things. I was like, I want to run. So run twice a week, and then do some like really slow stuff the other days.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. I had an aim to run 10 kilometers by the end of the year, and I reached it by May. So
so I'm the fucking best in the world.
Basically, I'm going to be running a marathon. No.
Want to run a marathon by July?
Yeah, gonna run a marathon in the next 4 weeks. So no, definitely not. But yeah, that was pretty cool. So I had to up it. I'm like, oh, we'll have to do 15 now. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool. Like, it's been nice actually. Like now that I'm used to the gym, I really don't mind going. Like my trainer is such a nice guy. He's just like this young dude. And he's lovely. Like he's never, like he knew I was working with you, and he never really like oversteps. You know how sometimes you make those funny videos about about PTs and stuff, and old certificate for in fitness. He's not like that. Which is really, really cool, because I think there's a lot of people like that. But yeah, he's really, really good, never oversteps, and pushes me without being over the top. So I really like going to him, and he's got lots of good tips and of things that I can do while I'm on my own. So I quite like going to the gym now, and yeah, it's nice, and I've definitely gotten a lot stronger. So that's
awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's super important to find a good fit, particularly if you are doing personal training, that it's not just someone that's just at the gym just cause, and every time you show up, you're like, fuck me, I didn't want to do this. So yeah, make sure you find, for obviously everyone else out there, make sure you find a good fit. It's okay to, this is going to sound so wrong, it's okay to shop around for personal trainers, even at the same gym. Like particularly my gym, I've had people where I'm like, you know what? This other trainer is going to suit you way better. Maybe you should go with them. Not so much in the way that it's like, you sound very annoying and I don't want to deal with you, go to the other trainer, in the sense that it's like, you are very much going to get more from this trainer. And yeah, I mean, I could segue that into a fucking mentorship thing, but I'm not going to. I'm getting better with it, Laurel. I'm not tangenting. Tangenting? I don't know. I'm not moving on as much as I used to. That's a fucking lie. I'm just focused right now. But no, that is awesome. So it sounds like everything has just completely done a 180 from week one, day one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's completely different the way that I live now. I'm slightly food obsessed. Love to plan it.
Yep.
I get excited, but it's everything's really good. It's really, really good.
Awesome. So what was your I suppose not for me, but more for people listening, is what was your favorite thing about the program? What was your biggest takeaway, or what was your biggest quote unquote compliment? Anything that fits under those umbrellas. Just what was that?
Yeah. I think learning about macros was really awesome, because I didn't know anything about that before. So doing that was really cool. I loved that I could just ask you any questions and not feel like an absolute dummy. That was great. Having someone, there who you've got so much knowledge, and just asking you, can I tweak this? Can I do this? What about this? And yeah, that was really cool. I love that. And the accountability of just having you there. I know we spoke about that. You were just like, oh, what will happen when I'm not holding you accountable anymore? And I was like, oh shit, I don't know.
Fuck, that's a good one.
Help. But no, I think having you for that 3 months, that was like a perfect time for me, and I'm sure probably a lot of people like me, like to get into that really solid routine while having you there, so that when you were gone, it was okay. Like you can just keep keep going without having you holding me accountable. But that was awesome. I loved that during the program, that I had somebody who was just like rooting for me, like, you can do this. You know, we know where we're going, we know what we're doing, and this is how we're getting there, and you can do it. Like, that's really cool too. That was special.
Awesome. Sweet. Yeah. I like hearing that. I like the well, that's all amazing. That's fucking awesome. That, like, just period. That's it. There's no but coming. Made that sound like there was a but coming. But no, that's awesome. Because I like the I suppose particularly now that I'm starting to step back from coaching as much as I was, with like 50, I think it was like 54 hours a week just of coaching calls alone, that I was like, I fucking hate my life right now. Loved coaching, but I was like, my psychologist told me, Beth told me, Tennille literally everyone told me, and I was like, nah, she'll be right. Spoiler alert, she was not right. So yeah, now that I'm stepping back and away from coaching as much hands-on, and we're moving into obviously hiring other coaches and all that fun expansion stuff, that's one of the things that it is one of the like red flags of moving forward in business, of like, oh shit, I have to make sure that the other coaches have my philosophy, like before I hire them, or like if I hire them, this is a philosophy we have of sort of like teaching a kid to ride a bike, where it's like, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go. And you look back and it's like, oh, fuck, you let go 20 meters ago. Of like, he's like walking hand in hand, guiding you through something of like, here's the 12 weeks or the 24 weeks or whatever it is, of like, let's do this together and set it up. So that way, when we leave, it's not just well, you're going to have to pay us to keep your results. Like, do it again. All those programs that I'm currently on a rant on TikTok with, of just do the 8 weeks and then that's it, closed off. But I love the way that this is set up. I suppose this is fucking self-promotion right now. I feel weird doing it. Of being able to have the feedback of when someone finishes a program, that it doesn't feel like the end of a program. It feels like the start of like High School Musical pun. It feels like the start of something new. So that's awesome. That's the thing that I like the most, where it just feels like that easy transition, instead of like just leaving you in the dark and being like, fucking figure it out or pay us and come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sort of imposed that on you, but did that feel like that's what it was? Or did it feel like it's something a bit different? Or did you get to the end and you go, oh, fuck?
No, exactly what you've just said. I was, it was just like kept going. And it was good. Like, I didn't feel like I was like, oh no, now I'm on my own. I didn't feel like that at all. Because you had said from the start, you're like, I want, what are your words that you use? Like, I want to make myself redundant or something, like for each person, something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the way that you do things in that program that I did anyway, it really did like set up that solid base of like, yeah, this is how you do it. And you can keep doing that on your own. And it really was. It was very easy to come out of it and just keep going. And like obviously emailed you a zillion times just telling you how great I am and
praise me. I'm amazing now.
Give me a medal. Which is cool, because I felt like I could do that, like, and say, oh, like, look what you taught me how to do. Like, I felt like that was, I don't know, quite nice that I could still tell you those things. Not really expecting a response, by the way.
Put it up on the fridge, little magnet, macaroni frame.
So that was quite cool. So it was like, it ended, but also not really. I don't know. Yeah.
It's something that you kept going with.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. That's amazing. I feel like that's all the questions that I have. Is there anything particular, and this could be about literally anything, for people that are listening that are like on the fence, or they've thought about it like signing up to a program or anything at all, even 1% interested, is there anything particular you would say for them, or a particular piece of advice of either just, yeah, I'm going to say that.
Yeah, I think if you are ready to put in the work, then do it. Like, don't put it off anymore. Don't start some new juice cleanse. Like, just get in there and do it. And I was a little bit nervous at the start, spending so like a solid amount of money, but I would have spent the same amount on takeaway. So really, like, who wins? Like, me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think anyone who's just thinking about it, like, if you can do it, because it will help you so much in the long term, and really set you up for success, like to live a much healthier lifestyle. And yeah, I mean, that's all everyone wants, isn't it? We just want to be healthy and happy and feel good about ourselves. And yeah, I think when you feel good about yourself and you're in a good spot and you don't feel like crap from eating the wrong thing all the time, lots of like cool things happen all around in your life, because I don't know, I think feeling good about yourself and keeping your health in line, it affects you in more ways than just that. So yeah, I think anyone who is ready to do it for sure. Sure. And like, yeah, even if you just thought about it for a second, like, think about it a little bit more, keep on that track. And yeah, I don't know, it's definitely the most definitely the best thing I've ever done for my health, for sure. I think, for sure.
Awesome. I love that. So the obviously, without giving away specific amounts, because well, I suppose some people are going to see it as a dick move, but honestly, it's just marketing. I obviously hide my prices on the website because they're quite expensive. So obviously, we want to get you on the phone, having inquired, and then showcase, hey, here's how we're going to change your life, and present all that value. And then we're going to say the dollar amount. So you go, oh, fuck, that's not as much as I thought. Or, fuck you, Travis, that is way too much. Either way, we're totally fine. But for any, like, we have programs starting from $250, not $2.50, starting from $250 every 4 weeks, which is $62.50 a week. We have programs starting from that amount. But for the program that we were in, was any mindset program, whether it's me or Lindsay or any other future coaches that are going to be coming on, which I suppose this will be a bit delayed. People see us. We're going to be putting out for a new coach as of July. So fun fact, that's an exclusive Laurel podcast. So anything on the mindset coaching is going to be a few $1,000s at least. With the investment that we made on that, obviously the initial moment is like, oh, fuck, like, that's a lot of money. Do I want to do this? But for yourself, Laurel, do you feel like that investment's paid itself off?
100%. Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, like I said, when you said the number, I was a little bit nervous, but, I think sometimes we don't do that. We don't put the money into ourselves like that. And why shouldn't we? If you can afford it, why shouldn't you put that money into yourself? And exactly like you're saying, it's an investment. You are investing in yourself and your health and your, happiness. Not that, your health is in your entire happiness, or your weight is your entire happiness, but it's such a big part. And yeah, I definitely think it's paid for itself a zillion times over. I have not once thought about the money until I've just brought it up right now.
Awesome. I'm glad I could dig that up for you.
Till I just brought it up. But no, I wouldn't think twice about it. Like, and if, or, you know, Travis, like I recommended my friend do it because she's very similar to me. And I thought, you know, that would be great. And I wouldn't do that if I didn't think it wasn't worth it. Like if anyone was in my position, I would definitely be like, hey, go and do this. Like, this is amazing. It's going to teach you how to do it. And it's really interesting how many people, when they talk to me, because obviously I look quite a bit different now, like in my face and everything, to how I looked before. And oh, how'd you do it? And I'm like, oh, well, I hired a coach. And they're like, oh, hired a coach. Like, what does that mean? Like, you know, so you tell them what it means. I'm like, oh, that sounds great. Like, wow, how interesting. Yeah. Like, so yeah, just to get back to the initial question, yes, it is definitely definitely worth investing some money into.
Awesome. Yeah, I love what you said of like, why shouldn't we invest in ourselves? Because obviously, yeah, like a lot of people just don't see they just don't see it as the investment. Like a lot of people initially, obviously, when I say the amount to them, they do what any sane person would do and freak out a little bit and go, fuck, that's way more than I've paid for, you know, other coaches, other programs, other this, other that. And the funny thing about that is obviously because the price obviously gets presented at the end of the phone call, if that phone call goes for 45 minutes, the first 25 minutes was about what have you tried and what hasn't worked. And they will bring up all the coaches, all the programs, all the everything. And if you took all that money from people that have paid for shit that hasn't really worked or succeeded, that would fucking far outweigh the cost of this program. And I've had someone in the, and I've had someone in the, had multiple people where I've asked them that question of like, how much money do you think you've spent on your health and like all this stuff put together over the years? And I think I barely ask that question anymore. I should get back into it. But the average was something like 6 years and $13,000 or something like that. And I was like, fuck, that's a lot of time and money for stuff that hasn't worked. And every single thing that they chose and put money into was, what is the quickest, easiest thing that is going to be the 8-week shred and the 6-week this and the juice cleanse and the keto and the this and then that, when it could have been, why not take that 13,000, put it into something for, you know, over a year or whatever it is, and set everything up so that you're done. So that like, take that year, settle the fuck down, open the timeline, and then we're just good. And we can just wake up and just be who we want to be. And the physical stuff will take care of itself.
Yeah.
And it's such a different perspective of just like, you know, yeah, I could talk about that for fucking ages because I'm just like, what?
I would absolutely encourage anyone who's thinking about doing it and then thinking that they can't afford it to log on to your banking and go into that little settings where it says how much money you spend on stuff, have a little calculate.
I don't want to do that.
You might lose your shit over how much money you spend on shit.
That's why I don't want to do it. Because I know how much I spend on shit. The good thing, 60% of it is D&D minis now, so I can cut that out.
Is that an investment?
That's true. That's true. See, got this little dude. That's where my money goes.
Because that's what I did when you told me the price and I agreed, and then I was like, how much money do I even spend on stuff? I can tell you what, spent a lot more money on shit than with you, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like you can Google it right now, like juice cleanse. They're like $350.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's such a weird thing to be like, here's my money, take it. What should I do? Just a fuckload of juices.
Yeah, just drink this for a week.
Thanks.
There you go.
Like, why did you have to pay $350 for someone to tell you to either skip breakfast or someone to tell you to do nothing but juices for 7 days? It's like, but you have to do it in a very specific order.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I've done that. It makes you really grumpy.
It does. Yeah. It's oddly enough, it is from what I've found in the industry, if I could just have this little tidbit, what I've found in the industry is that the coaches that make complex things seem simple are often the ones that charge the most because they get the best results. Whereas the coaches that try to make this very simple mechanism seem incredibly overcomplicated and complex, and this is why, because of this, which leads to this, and that's probably why, they're the ones that typically charge like $5.99 for this templated ebook keto cleanse thing. And the people that just make it so overcomplicated are the ones that, I mean, lose out in the long run, because a lot of people are like, oh, this is actually fucking awful. I lost 7 kidneys while I did this somehow. But if we can just simplify things and just be like, this is how you do this. Let's just start with the lifestyle. Everything else will just happen from there. But, you know, of course, I'm going to be biased to that because that's my philosophy. That's my program. That's how I make money. So, but yeah. Awesome. Is there anything particular that you want to get out to the world, because we're international over here? World's most recognized mindset podcast. Is there anything you want to get out to fuck, I've done myself there. To people that are listening, or just anything off your chest or shoulders or mind or anything, you have the floor. It's Laurel.
I think I've said everything, but yeah, no, thank you for all of your help. Like, obviously this worked incredibly well for me. Nothing has ever focused me this much and like got me in line and, you know, worked so well for me. I said to you a few times, I found it really hard to tell you why it worked for me. It just worked. Like, you know, I think it was just a little bit of everything, that the way that you put everything together, the way you word things, the way you speak to people, like, I think everything all in one just makes it so easy. And I honestly think, like, if someone like me, who was an absolute food psycho, can do it, then anyone can do it. Like, and yeah, like I said, you just have to be ready and willing to put in a little bit of work. And yeah, the start is really hard, but it will get you results, and you'll be living this awesome life before you know it. And yeah, I'm just so thankful for everything that you've done and everything that you taught me and all of your time that you gave to me. So yeah, thank you. And I hope that you can get some great new coaches and you can step back and do what you want to do. And yeah, because it's just amazing. So I'm so glad I saw your TikTok.
Awesome. Thank you. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, first off, you're more than welcome. But secondly, like, it's all you. It has been. Because if there's a lot of people where I do or have, given calories or macros to, and then it's like, I don't know what to do with this. And it is very, very hands-on. And, each client obviously has their own purpose and problems and backstory and all that fun stuff. And that's why we build the program out to the person, to the individual. But at the end of the day, it's the client is the one, like yourself, that's going to be putting in all the work of, like, me essentially just pointing the way, and then you going, okay, I'm going to put in all the work. I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn about this. I want to do this. I want to change my life. Here's what's going on. Being open and honest and vulnerable with everything that's happened in the past and everything that's going on, and like, okay, that's affecting this. So then let's move on from here. Everything that you've done and learnt about, and everything that's coming to you, and obviously that has come to you and come off you, is, exactly a direct correlation of everything that you have done. So I pointed the way, but you did all the work. And if you weren't you, we wouldn't be having this podcast. So I suppose everything that you've just said, fucking Aikido, back to you, because without you being you, it wouldn't have happened. So thank you for being an amazing client and, putting yourself out there to be able to, first off, trust me, and then trust the process, and then trust that eating more can lead to more weight loss.
We're patting each other on the back.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a full train going on. Awesome. Well, obviously, as per usual, if you need me for absolutely anything in the future, just email me, let me know when you tick off that 15Ks, because A, I'm going to be insanely jealous, and B, it's just fucking awesome. I can't run more than a kilometer. I'm just like, nope, I'm out, broken down. So yeah, thank you for being amazing and awesome and taking time out of your day to jump on this podcast. I know a lot of people are going to see or get something from it. It's going to be incredibly helpful. So yeah, thank you for everything that you've done for yourself, which has enabled me to do what I do, which has then helped everyone else. So thank you for being you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me. So
You're more than
nice.
welcome. All righty. If you need me for anything in the future, let me know. But otherwise, thank you so much. And I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Talk to you
Cheers,
soon.
Laurel. Bye.
Bye.